Hello, everyone. I'll be with you in just a minute. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Jiahui. Hello, Hannah and Shirley. I'm fine. Just give me a few minutes to get my notes ready for today's stream. Okay. Hello. What's up, everybody? Hello, Crystal and Beta and Ying. Hello, Shirley and Hannah and Sarah. Hello, Jiahui. Hello, Edward. Hello, Armand. Hello, Dina. No news is good news. That's right. That's what we say. Or sometimes we say, what's the other way we say it? Nothing new, nothing wrong. That's what we say. If nothing's new, then nothing's wrong. Right? No news is good news. So, are you guys ready to learn some English words? I have a pimple on my forehead. Thank you for showing that, Jiahui. Do you often tell people when they have pimples, Jiahui? 你知道这是非常奇怪，对不对？ And actually, I don't have a pimple on my forehead. It's not a pimple. It's just a cut. But thank you for pointing it out. Jiahui, let me teach you a very important thing that's different between Chinese culture and Western culture. I don't know you. you don't know me. If you don't know a person, you should not comment anything about their looks, ever. You shouldn't tell them they're fat. You shouldn't tell them they're old. You shouldn't tell them they're ugly. You shouldn't tell them about their pimples or anything like that, okay? They probably know. They already know. Why do you need to point it out? Okay? So next time, remember, 你不需要说，不需要说. Okay? All right. So we are going to continue. I don't want a PDF. No. All right. So, do you guys know why you're here? Do you guys know why you're here? Anyone? Learning English, right? But specifically today, what am I doing today, right now? What am I going to teach today? Not exactly, no. Today is not just about listening. Yeah, it's about new words, that's right. It's about new words, but it's a certain trick. It's a trick for you to learn new words. Okay? There is a certain trick that I have for teaching you how to learn new words, and it's called etymology. That's what we're doing today is etymology. I wonder, how do we say that? "词源学,词源学,你知道吗?" Yeah, etymology. 词源学. Okay? This means the history of the words. Means the history of the words. Okay? That's right. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to show you how I use ChatGPT for this. Okay? What does it mean, Riven? It means mega 英文字 mega 英文字他们有历史如果你学他们的历史我觉得你可以听得懂这个字比较好听得懂吗Okay, good. So let's get started. So we're going to start with, we're going to do Latin words today. Okay, we're doing Latin words. So the first Latin root word we're going to talk about is this one today. There are many English words that come from this Latin root word. The Latin root word which means to write. Scrib or script. Okay, S-C-R-I-B or S-C-R-I-P or S-C-R-I-P-T. All of these words, if you see something with that in it, it probably means something about writing. Okay? It means something about writing. So let's take a look at some words. I'm going to show you. Let me try to make this bigger for you guys. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so we have the origin. Here we go. So the Latin verb scribere. Scribere means to write. Okay, scriptus means written. Okay, and it's the basis of many English words. Okay, so let's take a look and see what words use this root. Look here. Do you guys know this word? Scribble. What does scribble mean? To scribble something. It means what? To write quickly and messily. Okay? To write quickly and messily. And look, it says S-C-R-I-B. There's the Latin root right there. S-C-R-I-B, scribble. Okay, so scribble. I scribbled my name very quickly on the paper. He scribbled the answer to the test quickly. Right? So scribbling means writing quickly. And usually because you're writing quickly, it's messy. Yeah, he scribbled the answer to the test quickly. That's right. Okay, so there's one good word that you can learn, to scribble. Okay, and what about this word? A scribe. A scribe. This is a word from history. We don't really have scribes anymore. But a long time ago, there was a job called being a scribe. To be a scribe was you are the person who writes things down. That's a scribe. You write things down, okay? They copy documents or they write things down. That's a scribe, okay? So we don't really use it anymore, though, right? But in history, the scribe was maybe the king wants to say something to everybody, so he brings in the scribe and he says, write this down and tell everyone, right? Or maybe they have a very old book. They have a very old book, and that book is falling apart, so they need a new one. Well, there are no computers back then, so someone had to handwrite everything. They didn't even have a printing press, right? There was no way to print them. It was all done by hand. So a scribe is who would copy the old book to make a new book, okay? The word script, a script. That is written text or handwriting, some kind of script, right? So like a movie script. A movie script. That is what you write. If you want to write a movie, then the first thing you do is write a script. It tells the idea of the movie, right? It shows the basic form of the movie, the basic words of the movie. That's a script. Okay? What about manuscript? Manuscript. Manus means hand. So a manuscript means a handwritten document. Manus, manu, meaning hand, and script, meaning write. So it's written by hand. It's a manuscript. Okay? So sometimes when someone is writing a book, right? Maybe Stephen King, right, is writing his new book. The first thing he writes is the manuscript. That's the manuscript. Okay? Prescription. What is a prescription? It is a written order from a doctor. Okay? A written order from a doctor. Pre means before, and script means write. So, prescriptions are the things the doctor gives you to tell you what you should do. Right? He gives you something and he says you should take this medicine twice a day. right? That's a prescription. Okay? So pre means before and script means to write, because that's what they do. They write it out and here's your prescription. Okay? Subscription. Prescription, and we also have subscription. What does sub mean? What does sub mean, everyone? What does sub mean? Not exactly behind. It means under. Sub means under, right? So why do we call it a subscription? Why does it mean underwrite? Sub means under and script means write. So why does it mean underwrite? Because when I give you a maybe something to fill out, right? Like maybe a magazine, right? A long time ago, if you wanted to fill out a magazine, right? You wanted to order a magazine. Then you would read the contract and you would say, oh, I read the contract. And then at the bottom, that's where you sign your name. At the bottom, right? When you have a subscription, you sign your name where? At the bottom of the page. That's why it's called a subscription, right at the bottom, underneath the contract. Okay, that's why it's called a subscription. Okay, it means to write at the bottom of the page, write your name. Okay, what about description? Description. A description is a detailed account of something. Okay, so originally the word means DE in the beginning, it means completely. And script means to write. So a description was a written version of what happened completely, right? So someone would write it down. So originally the word description was always about writing. Why? Because a long time ago, if something important happened, they wrote it down. If something important happened, 1,000 years ago, if something important happened, they wrote it down. They described it. Describe, completely write it down to tell everyone what happened. Okay, so that's what a description is. Inscription. Inscription. What is an inscription? In means into, and script means write. So maybe you get a watch. You have a new watch that your girlfriend bought you for a gift. Your boyfriend bought you a new watch for a gift. And if you take off the watch, on the bottom of the watch, they wrote, "With all my love." Right? On the bottom of the watch, it says, "With all my love." That is an inscription. Someone wrote something into the watch, on the watch. It's in the metal, right? It's not with a pencil, right? They didn't write it with a pencil or a pen. They wrote it in the metal of the watch. That's an inscription. Okay? Transcript. Transcript is a word that means, trans means across, script means to write. So, a transcription means a written or printed copy of spoken words. Okay? To write something down, right, is to transcribe something. Transcribe actually has a slightly larger meaning, but the original meaning is to write down spoken words. So the words someone says, now you listened to them from across the room and you've written them down. Okay? What about conscription? Conscription. Con means together. Con means together, and script means write. So what is conscription? conscription means when they force you to join the army or they force you to join the military. What they are saying is write your name down together in this group, right? You must be in the army, so you write down your name. You're now conscribed. Okay, you're together with the army, with the military. Okay? Ascribe. What does ascribe mean? It means to assign or attribute something. So it means who's responsible for something. Who did it? Okay? Who should we ascribe this to means who's responsible. Who did this thing? Okay? So, A means to plus scribe. So, to write means, in this case, it means, who wrote this? Who wrote it, right? So, if you see something and I say, oh, this is a really beautiful poem, to whom should I ascribe this poem? It means, who wrote this poem? Who wrote this poem? Okay? Am I going too fast? Hello, Carolina. No? Okay, good. I'm not going too fast. Good. All right. So we talked about subscribe. We talked about ascribe. Rescribe is not a very common word, but it's easy to understand if you see it. What does re mean? Re means again, and scribe means write. So rescribe it means to write again. Okay? To rescribe it means to write again. Okay? Postscript. Postscript. Have you guys ever seen someone write something like this before? Have you ever seen someone write, let's see, let me think. Dangisha, wait a minute. Have you ever seen something like this? It was wonderful to see you again. Until next time. P.S. Tell your family I said hello. P.S. You guys know P.S.? Hello, Chloe. Do you guys know what P.S. means? P.S. means postscript. That's what it means. Postscript. Post means after, script means write. So look at what I wrote. I said in my sentence, it was wonderful to see you again until next time. And then P.S. Tell your family I said hello. Postscript means at the end of the message, I added one more. At the end of the message, I say one more thing. That's the postscript. Okay, P.S. Don't forget to bring your lunch tomorrow, right? Have a good day at work. I hope everything goes really, really well. P.S. Don't forget to bring your lunch, right? So it's like an extra thing you want to say at the end. That's a P.S., postscript. Okay? That's a good one. Okay? Circumscribe. Circumscribe. One moment. What does circumscribe mean? Circumscribe means to limit the boundaries of something. Okay, to make like a circle around something. Circum means around, scribe means write. So to circumscribe means to write, to draw a circle around the thing that you think is a boundary, right? Around the thing that you think is separated. That's to circumscribe something. I circumscribe it, right? Means to draw a boundary around it. Circum, around, scribe, right. Okay? Proscribe. Proscribe is not a very, very common word, but it's actually a word we use in English when we talk about grammar or we talk about language. There are three ways to talk about language. There's prescriptive language, there's proscriptive language, and there's descriptive language. Okay? So proscriptive, in this case, means telling you what you should not do, right? So when you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription. A prescription tells you what you should do. You should take this medicine 2 times every day. That's a prescription, what you should do. Proscription tells you what you should not do. Okay? So, for example, in English, we say, you shouldn't end the sentence with a preposition, right? That's proscription. Okay? That's proscription. You shouldn't do it. Okay? But then there's also descriptive language. Descriptive just means to write it down. It's not should or shouldn't. It's just a description, right? When I say the apple is red, that's a description. There's no should or shouldn't about it. It's just I'm telling you the apple is red. Okay? All right, good. Thank you, Moho, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Okay, so we've got proscribe and proscription, the act of banning or forbidding something. You're not allowed, okay? It has been proscribed, which means you cannot do that. They told you you cannot, you should not. Superscription. What is a superscript? What is a superscript, everyone? Does anyone know what a superscript is? Moho doesn't know. Anybody else? Superscript? Zephrine, I don't know the Chinese word for it. Let me see. "不要在上面的." 对, yeah. Yeah, that's right. 不要在上面的,不要在上面的, right? Superscript, right? Not exactly, Seeker. Not written larger. No, written smaller. Seeker. Superscription. Super doesn't mean bigger. It means above. Okay, super means above. So a superscript is like when you write if you write, 4 cubed, right? 4 cubed or 4 squared, right? When you have the exponent up in the upper corner, the small numbers that are above, that's called a superscript. Okay? That's called a superscript. Okay, and what about scripture? What is scripture? It's a religious word. Scripture. I'm reading the scriptures. What does that mean? Yeah, it means things that are holy writings. Those are scriptures, okay? It comes from the Latin word scriptura. Scriptura means ancient, sacred, holy writing. Okay, so to read from the scriptures means to read from the holy writings. Okay? But it could be not just the Bible, okay? Scripture, I think, could be applied to just about any holy writing, okay? Usually this word is used to talk about Christian religion, but not always. Okay, and the reason it was used to talk about Christian religion was because these come from the Latin language. The Latin language was the language of the church. Okay, that was the language of the church. Okay, so most of the time when we talk about the scriptures, we're talking about the Christian religion. But in a historical use, sometimes the word scripture could be used to describe any kind of holy writing. Okay? Religious writing. Okay? TypeScript, don't worry about TypeScript. That's not a word you need to use anymore. It just means things that you wrote with a keyboard, right? So when I type, that's TypeScript. But we don't need to use that. It's like it's a redundant word really anymore. Or not really redundant, but it's not necessary. Everybody knows when you type what it means now. So you can just drop the script and just say type. Okay? In French, it's les escritures. Okay. Right, because again, mojo, French comes from Latin, right? So that's why many of these words will be easier for you, mojo, because you speak French. Okay? Unscripted. Unscripted. What does unscripted mean? Unscripted. Un means not. Script means right. So, his words were unscripted. His words were unscripted. What does that mean? His words were unscripted. Yeah, that's right. They're not written down. He's saying, that's right, they're spontaneous. He's speaking spontaneously. That's unscripted language. Unscripted. Okay? What is a script writer? A script writer is a job. If you go to Hollywood, maybe you are a script writer. Right? If you live in Hollywood, that's a job over there. A script writer is a person who writes screenplays. So it could be a script for a TV show. It could be a script for a movie. Okay? Something like that. That's a script writer. Okay? And then the final word we have here is what? Nondescript. Nondescript. So in this case, non means not. And descript means lacking features, right? So in this case, it means that this thing is hard to describe because it's not special. It's so plain that it's hard to describe, okay? So for example, he's wearing a nondescript shirt. He's wearing a nondescript shirt. It means it's not a special shirt. It doesn't have a bunch of stripes and lines on it. It doesn't have a flag on it. It doesn't have any words on it. It's very plain. Okay, it's nondescript. Yeah, it doesn't mean it can't be described. It means it can't easily be described. Okay? Nondescript things means things that are so plain. They're so plain that it's kind of hard to describe them because they don't have any special features. Okay, there's nothing special about them, right? So, let me think here. Wait a minute. So, for example, a nondescript building. A nondescript building means this is a building that looks just like all the other buildings. It's not special at all. It's nondescript. This building is boring. It's nondescript. Okay? So, let's see. a nondescript park, right? You know, maybe there's like a boring park. It's not really that special. You know, they built it just like all the other parks, so it's kind of nondescript. It's plain. It's so general and so plain that it's kind of hard to describe it. Okay? If there are 10 parks that look just like that park, yeah, ordinary would be pretty close, right? But ordinary because there are so many like it, right? That's nondescript. All right, so look, guys, how many words did we just do? Let's count them up. 1, scribble. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 words that have script in them. 24 words that have script in them. Come on, that's useful, right? That's a good way to learn vocabulary. 24 words that all are about writing because they all have the word script in them. Okay? Very useful, right? And some of the other roots that are in there, right? So manus, manuscript. Manuscript means written by hand. Prescription, pre means before. Subscription, sub means under. Description, D means completely. Okay. Inscription, in means into. Right? These are all useful things to know. If you learn this, post means after. How many words do you have that have post in them? Many. Many, many, many. Circum. How many words are there in English that have circum in them? Meaning around. Many words, okay? Let's see. Scribes were, here's some extra facts, right? Scribes, the people who write things, they were very important. They were vital in Egypt, Mesopotamia, and medieval Europe. Literacy was rare. Most people could not read or write. Okay, a long time ago, most people could not read or write. So if you can write and you can read, you're special. You're important. Okay, so scribes were very respected. They had lots of power. Okay, scripture just means that which is written. But eventually it meant religious words. Okay, so originally scriptures was anything that you wrote down. Okay? Anything. But eventually it just became that we're talking about religious things. Okay? Have you ever seen this before? RX? What does RX mean? What does RX mean? Interesting. So, RX, it means many times you'll see this word when you see a pharmacy. Okay, let me show you. Wait a minute. Let me check on my YouTube. Hello, Neil, over there. Thank you for joining my YouTube. So let's take a look at RX. Come on. There we go. Look. Now, does that look familiar? Have you ever seen something like this before? Okay, RX. RX actually means, it means recipe tu. That's the Latin. Recipe tu means, it means take this. It means take this. Yeah, you receive. That's kind of what it means, okay? And the word recipe. What is a recipe? The modern definition of a recipe. What is a recipe? Anyone? Recipe? Yeah, a recipe is, now when we say that's a good recipe, it means that's a good way to cook something, right? It's the instructions to cook something. That's a recipe. Okay, it's not just a food list. It's the list of ingredients and the instructions, the directions. Okay, so it's everything you need plus the directions. That's a recipe. But guess what, guys? Where do we get medicine from? Where do we get medicine from? 1,000 years ago, medicines were mostly what? Yeah, you get them from the pharmacy, but let's think about 1,000 years ago. If you went to a doctor and they gave you medicine, what is the medicine? What is the medicine made of? Food. It's food stuff, okay? So they would take a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this and put it together. Herbs, that's right. Herbs and food and plants, that's what you used to make medicine, right? So just like you use a recipe to cook food, you use a recipe to make medicine. So RX in this case means here's the recipe for your medicine. Take this. The doctor would tell you, you need this plant 2 times a day, and you need this tea 3 times a day. That's your recipe. That's where we get RX from. Okay? Let me go back to my ChatGPT here. Oops, wrong one. All right, and to circumscribe something literally means to write a circle around it, but it eventually came to mean a limit to something. Where is the line? Where's the line? Where's the boundary, right? That's the boundary. That's the circumscription, okay? So it's like kind of like the rules that tell you where you should stop, okay? And a postscript was originally to help writers add an extra thought after the letter was already written, when they couldn't edit it anymore. Okay? All right. So that was one. Now, let me go. Let's do this. Look, the next one says, would you like me to continue next with the root vid and viz? Yeah, let's do that. Oops. Okay, give it 1 minute. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to give us an answer. Here we go. Let's continue with the next powerful and commonly used Latin root in English. The Latin root vid and viz, meaning to see. To see things. Okay, so the Latin verb videre. Videre means to see in Latin. Okay, and it's also related to the word visus, meaning to having been seen. It was seen. It's visus. Okay, but look, there are many, many words in English that come from there. Sight, vision, understanding, imagination, and insight. Okay, so let's take a look. So the first word we have is video. Video. And video comes from the Latin video, meaning I see. Okay, so we pronounce it video today, but the Latin pronunciation was video. Video, meaning I see. Okay, so what is a video? It's a recording of visual images that you can see. I see it on video. Okay, vision. Vision means the ability to see. Vision comes from the Latin word visio, meaning the act of seeing. Okay? Visible. Visible. Able to be seen. Or invisible. In meaning not. Not able to be seen. Okay? So, my phone is visible. Oh, but now it's invisible. It's visible. It's invisible. Okay? It's able to be seen. It's not able to be seen. Okay? Visual. Visual, meaning about sight, related to seeing or sight. I need some visual aids, right? I'm using a visual aid right now. I'm sharing my screen so you can see. That is a visual aid. When I share my screen, that's a visual aid. Okay? It helps you to see, right? To visualize. Okay? Visualize means to make a mental image. Viz, meaning to see, and ualize in this case means to make. So make something you can see in your mind. To visualize it. Okay? Visualize your dreams. Visualize your goals. Visualize. Vista. What is a vista? This is a beautiful vista. There's even a town called Buena Vista. That's right, Carolina. A vista is a view. Wow, what a beautiful vista. Right? You can see the river, you can see the mountains, you can see the city, you can see the ocean. It's a beautiful view. It's a vista. Okay? Buena Vista. Buena meaning good, vista meaning view. Buena Vista, good view. Okay? No, seeker, that's not hasta la vista, that's hasta la vida. Or no, hasta la vida. Oh, I forgot how to spell it. Carolina, what is he trying to write? I forgot the spelling. Can you write it? There it is. Hasta la vista, baby. There it is. Yes, right? Like what did it, Schwarzenegger said that, right? Hasta la vista, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Terminator, right? Thank you, Carolina. Okay, let's go to the next word, to envision. Envision. En means inside, in your mind. In your mind, you can see it. So you can say, I have an idea. I want to make an app that will help people be nicer. I envision an app that can help people be nicer. I envision it, means I imagine it. Okay? I picture it. Visualize in your mind. That's right, to envision. Okay? Revise. What does revise mean? To revise something. What does revise mean? It means to review, but to review and to change. So to revise something, vise means look, means again. So when you revise something, you look at it again and say, can I make this better? Let me revise it, right? This sentence I wrote, it's not that good. I can write better. I can do a better sentence. I can make a better sentence, right? So let me revise it, okay? It's so to revise Mai and Ahmed, it means to read it again or look at it again and figure out how you can improve it. Right? To revise something. So, for example, if you have a paper in school, you have to write a paper for your school, right? You write your paper, you turn it in, and your teacher says, "This is good, but I want you to revise this part and revise this part." That means look at it again and make it better. Okay? Yeah, review means to look again. That's all review means. Revise means look again and change it to make it better. Okay? Okay, good. And the next one, revision, right? A revision is the act of revising. Okay? So this is my revision. You turn it into the teacher. You say, "I revised my paper. Here is my revision. Please read it again." Right? So you turned it in one time and the teacher said, "This is pretty good, but I want you to revise this and revise this." So you go home, you rewrite that, you change it, you make it better. The next day you say, "Here is my revision." That means I have considered it again and made it again. Like revision, again to imagine in a better way. Okay? Evident. Evident. Look at that. Vid. Vid is in the word evident. When something is evident, it's obvious, it's clear, it's evident. Why? Because E, the letter E, it means out, and vid means see. So everyone can see. That's what it means. It's obvious. Okay, the E out, in this case, it means like obvious. Okay, everyone can see it. Okay, evident. Right, if something is evident, it means it's clear. Evidence is proof. Evidence, look, that's the next word. Facts that make something clear or obvious. They are the things that are seen or observed. That's evidence, right? But again, evidence. Evidence. It has the VID in it. Evident. It means the things that you can see that make it clear, that make it obvious. That's the evidence. Okay? Advise. To advise someone means to recommend based on what you see. Advise. Ad means toward, right? To look at something and then see and then give advice. To advise someone means you recommend based on what you see. Okay? That's advise or advice, right? Advise and advice and advisor. Those are people who give you advice based on what they see. Right? Recommendations. Yeah, advice and recommendations are similar. Okay? Right? So an advisor is someone who you get advice from. They advise you based on what they see. Okay? Supervise. Supervise. Super, in this case, it means over. Super means over, and vise means look. So to supervise means to look over. Supervise means to look over. Okay? What's the difference between what? Recommendation and advice? Well, I'll tell you. One moment. I was looking at the history of that word, but it doesn't really help. So let me do this. So, recommend, the difference between recommend and advise. Recommend means that I'm telling you what I think is great based on my experience, right? So I recommend that restaurant because I have gone there and I like their food and I think you will like their food too. So I recommend it. Okay. But to advise someone is more about giving them guidance or opinions on what you think, right? So for example, I will recommend a restaurant. I will advise you to study more for your test. Okay, so I recommend that you prepare well. So sometimes recommend and advise are interchangeable. But sometimes recommend is more like, this is what I think you should do because I've done it. Okay, but advise is more like providing guidance based because you're an authority, you're an expert. Right? A recommendation might not be from an expert, it's just from a person, okay? But advice is usually someone you trust because they have better opinions than you, okay? So I think that advice is more formal and more important. Recommendations are usually something for things that are less important. Okay, usually, but not always. Like, for example, a recommendation for work, that would be more formal. Okay, but it still means the same thing. When you get a recommendation from your old boss, right? Your old boss is telling the new boss, hey, I think this person is really good. I have experience working with this person, and they're great. You're going to like them also. Okay? Okay, let's get back to the original words. Okay. Now we have supervise, supervision, right? The oversee, to look over, right? Television. Television, tele means far away. Vision means to see. So television, that's because where do they make the TV show? Where do they make the TV show? I can see the TV show in my city, but where do they make it? In Hollywood. That's far away. That's far away. So they made the show in Hollywood, but I can see it on my TV. So it's something from far away that I can see. Television. Okay? Because they made it far away and then they broadcasted it to me far away. Okay? Provision. Provisions. What are provisions? What are provisions? Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. What are provisions, everyone? How did I not see that? I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah. Provisions, things that you collect, plans, right. So, provisions, everybody, these are the things you need to prepare to go do something. Okay? So, pro means forward. Pro means forward. Vision means to see. So, provisions are the things that you think about. You think, okay, we're going on a hike. We're going for a picnic on the mountain. What do we need? Looking forward, if I imagine forward, what do we need? Oh, we need the picnic basket, and we need a blanket, and we need some food and some water. Right? Maybe we need a tent. Those are provisions. They're things that you think about imagining forward what you're going to do. Okay? Yeah. To prepare. Okay? Those are provisions. Preview. Preview, to look before. Right? When you go to the movies, right? You're going to go see the Avengers movie, the new Avengers movie or something, right? You're going to see the Avengers movie. So before the movie, they play commercials for other movies. Those are called previews. Okay? When you go, you're going to see your movie, but before you see your movie, they play commercials for other movies that are coming so that you can see them before. Preview. You see a little bit of it before it comes out. That's a preview. Okay? To see in advance. Okay? I'm running out of time, guys. Unfortunately, I have to go, but I'm going to try to run through these last few words quickly. Okay? So interview. Inter means between. Okay? And view means to see. So an interview is when they want to see you. Okay? They want to see you, and we'll talk between us. We'll talk. I'll ask you some questions. You talk back to me. That's an interview, right? Between and to see. Okay? Improvise. Improvise. In this case, provisas means provisions, the things you need ahead, right? So usually when you plan a trip, you need provisions. But sometimes you improvise. Means not. So that means improvise means you're not prepared. You just do it. You improvise. Okay? No provisions. No preparation. You're improvising. Okay? Surveillance is a French word that means, in this case, sur meaning super, and vis meaning to see. So surveil means to carefully look over someone. That's surveillance. Okay? A visor, something to protect your eyes. To visit. Okay? To visit means to go see. To go see someone. To visit someone. Okay? Visible. Visible means the things that can be seen. Okay, and then the final word here is clairvoyant. That's a hard one. Clairvoyant means a person, and this word clair means from the French word clear. Clear, and voyant means to see. So a clairvoyant is a person who can see the future, right? Or can see things more than what is there, right? Maybe there's a TV show about a detective who is a clairvoyant. She has the ability to see things that other people can't see. Okay, that's a clairvoyant. Okay? Okay, so again, guys, you can do this too. You can do this too. If you want to see my prompt, let me give you my prompt here so that you can see how did I get this. Let me give you the first one. Here is my prompt. One moment. Where did it go? This one, yeah. So write the Latin root word and then give it a Latin root that you want, right? There are many Latin roots, and make a list of English words from the Latin roots, okay? So this video is on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and watch this again, and you can learn how to use ChatGPT to explore etymology. Okay, so we did 24 words that were about writing, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 words about seeing. 24 words about writing, 28 words about seeing. This is a useful tool for learning vocabulary, okay? All right, so unfortunately, I need to go because I have a private student that I have to get to. I didn't see him on my schedule, so I have to go teach a lesson right now. But thank you guys for coming and watching. Please go follow me. Here is my YouTube channel right here. Here's my YouTube. If you want to go watch me on YouTube, here is my website. If you want to go buy lessons from me or study, there are many study materials for free on my website. Okay, so go follow me, please. All right, and I will be back later tonight for another voice room. Okay, thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.